Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder. Today we're diving into a filing from Informatica, and spoiler alert, there was an election involved, but no, not the kind that put someone in the White House. Today we're looking at an 8K report, which is basically a corporate breaking news bulletin. In this case, it's all about the results of Informatica's annual shareholder meeting. We'll break down who got elected, how people voted, and what it all means. But before we dive in, if you like getting insights straight from corporate documents, hit that subscribe button. Also, join our Discord, the link is in the description. Alright, so this whole thing is about a meeting that happened back in June of 2025. At this meeting, shareholders got to vote on a few key decisions for the company. These decisions include electing board members, basically the people who oversee the whole operation, approving their accounting firm which checks the books, and giving a thumbs up or down to how the top executives get paid. It's like a corporate report card. First up, we have the election of directors. Think of directors as the supervisors. The shareholders voted on who they wanted to be on the board specifically as Class I directors. This means they'll be around until the annual meeting of 2028, basically getting a 3-year term. The names you need to remember are Amit Walia, Bruce Chizen, and Mitesh Dhruv. Next on the agenda was the accounting firm. The shareholders were asked to give their approval, meaning to ratify the appointment of Ernst & Young L as the company's independent registered public accounting firm for the year. Basically, are they okay with the people checking the company's financial homework? And finally, the shareholders got to weigh in on the pay packages of the big bosses. It's a non-binding vote, meaning the company doesn't have to listen, but it's a good way to see if the people who own the company, the shareholders, are happy with how much the executives are making. Now, who got to join in on this voting party? Well, it depends on what kind of stock you owned. If you had Class A common stock, you got to vote on everything. Class B1 common stockholders voted on everything except who gets to be on the board, and Class B2 common stockholders only voted on who got to be on the board. You can almost imagine it like different voting rights for 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 different levels of shareholders. Let's dive into the results. Starting with the election of those Class I directors, Walia, Chizen, and Dhruv. First up, Amit Walia got almost 150,000 votes withheld. Bruce Chizen got around 140 million votes for, and almost 37 million votes in favour, with about 20 million votes for and almost 37 million withheld. And Mitesh Dhruv, he was pretty popular, securing roughly 17.6 million votes in his favour, with only about 650,000 votes withheld. Those numbers don't even include the broker non-votes, which totaled about 43 million. Moving on to whether to keep Ernst & Young, keeping an eye on Informatica's books. Almost 2119 million votes said yes, keep them around. About 438,000 voted against it, and just over 408,000 abstained. No broker non-votes this time around. Looks like Ernst & Young got a pretty solid vote of confidence. Lastly, let's talk about executive pay. Just over 140 million votes were in favour of how the top dogs are being compensated. However, about 36 million voted against it and 40,000 abstained. Again, we have those broker non-votes clocking in at around 43 million. This one's a bit more split, showing some shareholders weren't exactly thrilled with the executive compensation packages. Let's wrap on the shareholder meeting results. The document was officially signed off by Rashmi Garg, Senior Vice President and Chief Legal Officer, on June 20, 2025. So what's the big picture here? Well, it looks like Informatica's shareholders largely approved of the company's direction, at least when it comes to who's on the board and who's checking the accounting. But there's a bit of a rumble when it comes to executive pay. That could signal some tension or a need for the company to better explain how they're compensating their leadership. This vote, while advisory, should be a wake-up call to the company. When almost 20% of shareholders vote against executive pay, it shows there is some disagreement and a misalignment on compensation, no matter how well the company is doing. Alright, that's our breakdown of Informatica's latest filing. What's your take on these numbers and what they signal for the company's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description. Thanks for watching. See you next time.